again YouTube, Mad Dog here. Welcome back to my channel. Today's little video, we're going to be having a look around this fella, which is the Anglo Arms Real Tree Camo folding knife or multi-tool. So let's get into it, let's have a look. Comes in the little box. Again, being Anglo Arms, it's relatively budget friendly. This retails over in the UK for about £14. Let's just take it out and have a look. So there we go. Okay, there's the Real Tree Camo scales, design on the scales, which is quite nice in my opinion. Look at the girth of this thing. It's a tank of a thing. Bearing in mind that there is only 3 attachments with this. Now I've brought this because, as most of you guys and lasses will know, that when I'm choosing a multi-tool or an EDC knife, I like something that has 2 good blades, or at least 1 good blade, and a saw, which in my opinion, a wood saw obviously, in my opinion are the 2 obviously most valuable and used tools in a woodland, bushcraft or survival situation. So this has both of those. So to start with, the first blade, it's not quite a flat grind and it's not a Scandi grind, it's drop point. It has the secondary bevel, which I don't like to be honest, but you know, it's a budget knife. It is sharp, but it isn't razor sort of shaving sharp. It's a stainless steel with a black sort of coating on there, I guess, you know, to stave off some corrosion if it is a high carbon stainless. I really don't know the make of the steel there. The little logo there for Anglo Arms. Just looking at the specs, the blade length is just over 3 inches, 81mm in metric. It locks on the side of the frame here, which is a big old chunky ass affair. 3 little buttons there, and there to you press them to release each blade or attachment. The second blade also has a gutting hook on it, and this is only, you know, a couple of inches, the actual cutting edge, and you have a lot of surplus here. This really, in my opinion, should have been bladed so that you could use it as an awl or something, and I'm not sure to be honest about that. Again, it's not razor sharp, but it is, you know, it's workable. The gutting hook is depressed, is released rather, with this larger button in the centre, and when it sits flush it actually doesn't. Whilst you can use that to get your finger under to lift it out, it isn't ideal because it is a sharp edge. Obviously you should use the little divots there that you should put your thumb in, but to do that you have to lift one out to get to the other, which, you know, can be tiresome. So everybody will no doubt be doing that, which you shouldn't really do. But now for me, if this is meant to be a pocket knife, that's just going to get snarled up in the lining of your pocket or your jacket, and long term do your clothing no good at all. I'm not a big fan of that. So lastly we have the saw, wood saw, and it's like a double toothed arrangement, so it cuts on the push and the pull. Again, only just over 2 inches, 2 1/4 I think, something like that in actual usable TPI, teeth per inch. Now whilst it feels durable and strong, it isn't comfortable in the hand. It's a great big ass piece of chunk of a thing. It weighs 230 grams, which is quite weighty for what it is. You know, bearing in mind it's only a short stroke saw and it's a small ass knife really. You know, it's like the total length of it is 7.6 inches. Like I say, the blade was 80mm, just over 3 inches for the main blade. Each blade or attachment is 2.5mm thick. This is from Knife Warehouse UK, by the way. When I compare it to a Swiss Army knife, this, by the way, incidentally weighs around 75 grams. So it's like, this is like literally 5 times heavier than a Swiss Army knife. I mean, just for comparison, look at this thing. It's a beast of a thing. But the point I'm trying to make here is, let me get the wood saw out of the Swiss Army knife. There's the wood saw, which I know is very effective. I use it quite a lot. Bring on the Anglo Arms. If I compare them two together, the Swiss Army knife wood saw is actually, the actual cutting teeth is actually longer so you've got more stroke, more TPI, you know, and it's lighter. Yes, this is more expensive, I'm not going to lie to you, it's more expensive, but not by a lot. You know, this is 14-15 pounds, these are about 20. It's a lot lighter, and you've got more usable tools on a Swiss Army knife. The actual blades, whilst the Swiss Army knife is, I guess, less strong, less durable, and it's non-locking, whereas the Anglo Arms is obviously locking, which also makes it illegal carry, everyday carry in the UK, unless you have just and good reason to do so, i.e. fishing, bushcraft, etc. I'm not going to go into all that. Whereas the Swiss Army knife is UK legal carry, because the blade's under 3 inches and it's non-locking. There isn't a lot of difference in what you would use this knife for in general everyday scenarios. So you could make traps with this as you could the Swiss Army knife. You can cut cordage with this as you can the Swiss Army knife. The Anglo Arms. But when you compare the actual diameter, I don't want this in my pocket, to be honest. Look at that. Crikey me. For you guys and lasses that do EDC, something like a Victorinox, you know, SAK, Swiss Army knife, they can be tiresome on a key ring. Like I carried this with my house keys usually, and they can be tiresome even having them in your pocket. You know, if you've got a tight fitting pair of jeans, etc., you know it's there. But to carry this, that's like half an house brick. You know, it's just crazy. Whilst it's good, strong, durable, there is some side to side movement in the attachment, so it's not perfectly made by any stretch of the imagination. I really wouldn't want to be carrying that around in my pocket all day as an EDC. I'd probably chuck it in a toolbox, a tool bag, or a fishing kit or something. But for me, it's a fail. With hindsight, I wouldn't buy this again. It is, you know, it's relatively sharp, and because of the weight, you can really transmit some good, powerful strokes behind that cutting edge. I guess that was just out of camera shot, but you know, it's good enough to get most basic tasks done. But you know, which knife isn't? For me, it's a good looking thing. It's reasonable value, but it's too heavy for what you're actually getting. That's my personal opinion. Let me know what you guys and lasses think below, please. You know, everybody's opinions are different and they're all valid, so let's just give this wood saw a bit of a try here. I don't know if this will pick up, but yeah, it's getting there. Pick up my terrible camera work here, but it's definitely about through. I'm actually cutting into my bench there, but you've only got short ass strokes, and the blade thickness is quite thick as well. You know, it's I'll just finish it off if I can with the Swiss Army knife wood saw. A lot thinner, and that's feels a lot better as well, as in performance. It's got more bite. Yeah, the Swiss Army knife saw, in my opinion, is better, cuts nicer. No, for me, it's a fail. It's too bulky, too heavy, and for what you're getting, it just takes too much room up. So anyway, I've rambled on way too long. Hope you find some of this useful. Before you go out and buy an Anglo Arms Real Tree Camo multi-tool, think twice. Spend the extra £6 or whatever it may be, £5. Get yourself a Swiss Army knife. You will be pleased that you've done so. Take care out there. Till next time, Mad Dog signing off. Yeah! Okay, I just wanted to add a couple of footnotes to my video, that when I mentioned being tiresome carrying a Swiss Army knife, I didn't mean physically tiresome, as in, you know, it's too heavy, too weighty and it wears me down sort of thing. I meant tiresome as in the fact that you know it's there, you know, as in, when you're walking, subconsciously you know that it's like having a wallet that's full of rubbish, and you know it's there. You know you really need to thin that stuff out. Just a presence thing really, not a weight as such. But secondly, on the subject of weight, the Anglo Arms is 3 times heavier than the Swiss Army knife, not 5 times as I previously said at the beginning of this video, so please excuse my bad on that. It's 3 times heavier, but even so, that being said, that's 3 Swiss Army knives versus one of those. I'll take the 3 Swiss Army knives, me personally, but anyway, take care out there. See you soon. Mad Dog signing off again. Yeah.